Hi, Jeff.
Hi, SJ.
How's the week been going for you?
The week's been good. Very
Good.
good. Yeah, it's been a nice, quick week and a good week at work, and excited to get this podcast going.
Perfect.
How
So
about you?
you know what? It's good. It's been good. It's been busy, busy with the kids and stuff being off of school, but we're doing the thing, keeping busy, keeping out of trouble. And so, should we tell our viewers like what our podcast is about, or are we just gonna let them
Yeah,
guess?
go ahead. Let's do it.
All right. It's your girl SJ, and we're here with.
Jeff, Francis.
Yep. And we're the Popcorn Patrol. You're listening to the Popcorn Patrol, or if you're on YouTube, you're watching it. Um, so bear with us. This is our first episode. We don't really know what we're doing. We're trying. So um, just keep that in mind and be patient with us.
So yeah, we're gonna review movies. We don't
Yeah.
know exactly which ones yet. We're just gonna kind of play it by ear for the first little bit until we kind of come up with a way of picking movies. Maybe we'll let viewers pick at some point. Maybe we'll have different themes for different times of the year or different months or maybe different current events that are going on. But yeah, we're reviewing movies, new
Yep.
movies, old movies, whatever
Any
we
kind of movie.
want, anything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely down for any kind of movie except like, horror slasher ones, but I'll do it if it's requested. I'll try my best to get through it. Um, but yeah, so let's talk about the one that we did this week. So this is our first one, and we chose 65 with Adam Driver. And do you have any stats for us today?
Well, 65 was a theater release first, and it had a budget of $45 million, and it brought in 60 million dollars at the box office across 3,400 theaters. Um, and yeah, that's what I got for us.
Yeah, I don't even like I had never even heard of it before we watched it. Like I think it popped up on something and I was like, "Oh, there's a dinosaur head in the poster." And I'm like, "Okay." And it's Adam Driver and he's holding a gun. So this got to be good, right? Like I
Yeah,
have no
and who doesn't love dinosaurs, right?
yeah.
Like we got what, Jurassic Park and Land Before Time. Are
Yeah.
there really any other dinosaur movies? I'm sure we'll find out. I'm sure like, we'll get some comments right away. Yeah, idiot. There's these 95 dinosaur movies. Yep,
Right. But all
happens.
of them are probably bad. That's why we've never heard of them. And I'm probably going to
Probably.
get called out for that too. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
um yeah, no. You know what? So what was your first impression of the movie? Let's start there.
Um. My first impression of the movie. Okay,
Like when the opening scene comes up, like after the title sequence.
yeah, like they're on the beach, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. He's
Adam
got
Driver is with his on-screen wife and kid, and he's telling his wife that he's got to go on a trip. He's an astronaut delivering, I guess, people across the galaxy. I'm not sure really. Like, they made it sound like he was gonna be
I thought
gone
he was an
looking for a.
alien though. Sorry, Jeff. I thought he was
Sorry.
like an alien. I thought he was living on a different planet as an alien and he was coming or he had to go to Earth. Did I misunderstand that completely?
So I when I watched when I okay, this is why for me it's confusing because when I watched it, I thought he was going like they to me they made it sound like he was going off to space to look for a cure for his daughter who was
Right.
really sick. And then I had no idea that it wasn't Earth until until he crash landed on Earth. And even then I still didn't know it was Earth until basically uh the like that I don't know if it was the opening like title scene or what it was, but it was like it come up, it said 65, which is the title, but then underneath it said million years ago. And it
Right.
was like, holy crap, this is taking place on Earth. He crash landed on Earth. Wow, it like blew my mind.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like this is awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Then it kind of dropped off from there a little bit. Um,
I don't know.
I,
I kind of.
one of the things that kind of bugs me, I know for these kind of movies, you have to like suspend your disbelief, but
Right.
it bothers me when there's this spacecraft or
Yeah.
airplane and it crashes into the ground and there's survivors.
They're still alive.
Like the
Yeah.
guy crashes from like outer space, comes down through the atmosphere and crashes into the planet and he survives. Okay, I like it's a movie. You gotta suspend your disbelief, I guess. But it always just kind of bothers me that that
That's a
stuff happens.
realistic.
It's
That
not really
happens.
that realistic. I mean, I guess it's the whole premise is not realistic, an alien crashing on the planet when
No.
there's dinosaurs here. But
No, and their crash. Okay. So are we okay to give spoilers? Because this movie's been out for a while. Probably.
absolutely,
Okay.
I think okay. Uh, alert. When we do a podcast, there will be filled with spoilers.
Yeah.
Because we're reviewing the movie. This is a spoiler review.
Yeah.
I don't think in the long term we'll do like a scene by scene breakdown, but I think for this it you asked me how I felt, and that those kind of scenes kind of shaped my
Your
impression or view of the movie. Yeah,
So my overall impression was like, I was like, okay, um, all right, this is a space movie. Because I had no idea. So I was like, okay, cool. So we're going along, and I realized that he wasn't on Earth because they were speaking in a different language. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not like, I don't know that Earth language. So, not that I'm a linguist or anything, but I just thought like it doesn't sound like anything that would be here on Earth. And then I saw the title where it said 65 billion years ago. Billion? Million.
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 Yeah,
And, then I was like, okay, so what is this about? And then I realized it was Earth that they were actually on, but it took me like a minute to kind of like go, okay, they're on Earth, they're on planet Earth back, like they've traveled from, like, this is when the ice age started to happen, right? Or like when they had the Big Bang or whatever. So I was like, okay, interesting premise. I mean, like that's kind of cool. I like the sound of it. Okay, so should we talk about the rest now?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's lots of things about this movie I love, and lots of things that are just like, okay, all right,
Let's take it for face value. Like for me, I'm like, I know what I'm gonna get. Okay, there's a gun, there's dinosaurs, and there's like um, running. Like I know that's what I'm gonna get. Okay. Um, overall, I'm gonna tell you my overall thing is that
sure.
I liked it. Not like in love with it, but I liked it. So I don't know that I would go to the theater to watch it, but I might wait for it to come home and watch it at home and enjoy it at home. Um, but yeah, yeah. There were some things that I had issues with as well. So do you want to start with the good stuff or the bad stuff first?
Let's start with the bad stuff, work our way through that, and then we can go on to the good stuff and finish on like a bit of a positive note.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to start with something. What did you think about Adam Driver in this movie? Because I thought he
I
was decent.
he was awesome. Like in
Yeah.
this movie, he was really good. Um, I don't know what it is about Adam Driver that I like. I've only ever seen the three Star Wars movies he was in and this one,
Yeah.
but I look at him and I'm just like I want to see more of the stuff that this guy's in.
Right.
So, that watching more of his work is going to be on my list. of things to do, because I thought he was good. He like it's not his fault that the story is
Was
kind of predictable, and but I mean he did a great job with what he was given to work
I
with.
think so. I think so. I think the girl who played the daughter, she was also very good. Like you know, she was ill and she was playing that part of a loving daughter, and I believed it, right? Okay.
Yep.
The one that I had problems with was the little girl who couldn't speak English.
Hmm.
That was rough. Like I was like,
Yes.
why would they do that? Like
Yeah.
it's so annoying.
I totally understand that. It felt like it was not necessarily a part that was needed.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, how can we make this more difficult for this guy? Well, let's make the person that he's trying to save not speak his language or any languages that he knows.
Right.
And yeah, so I mean that was a part that was kind of um, difficult to navigate through. Um, but she seemed to pick up certain things pretty quick. I thought she did a good job. I
Yeah.
thought the storytelling about her was, pretty accurate. She just survived a spaceship crash, so I'm sure that's traumatic. She's with a
Yeah.
person that she doesn't know. She doesn't know where her family is. I think she's 7 or 8 in the show, something like that.
Yeah. He said
So
he was about the same age as his daughter, I think.
okay,
I
yeah.
think.
So like
Mhm.
given that age and the traumatic experience, I do think that she would be really scared at first, and it would take a little bit for her to
Forcing.
earn the trust.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, she wasn't a horrible actor. I just found it annoying. Like the way they tried to get them to communicate was like there could have been something else. I don't know. It was just
I
obnoxious.
thought it was really neat that part of the communication was they were in the cave and they were drawing on the cave wall,
Yes, yes.
and it's like that's something that uh, explorers, maybe not archaeologists, maybe that's the wrong term. I know they dig stuff up, but
Yeah,
people that explore ancient things in our world have found that kind of stuff. And it's just kind of interesting. Like, was that done by a cave person, or was that done in a situation like this where maybe not this exact situation, but, like, yeah, I thought that part
they're
was
trying to get you
neat.
to question
Yeah,
things, right? But
absolutely.
it's not that kind of movie though. Like,
No, it's
I'm
not.
not I'm not questioning
No.
if that's real or not because I know it fully is nuts.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
um but yeah, I thought the movie also had like a good pace to it, like a decent pace to it. I didn't feel like it was too long or dragged or I felt like it was enough. Um
It's about an hour and a half runtime, like
Yeah, it's
90,
about an hour
90.
and a half. I think if
Yeah.
it was longer, I would have been like, nah, I'm out. Like, I would have lost interest really quick. But I think an hour and a half was like perfect for it. That kind of action movie where, you know, um,
I could have done without the T-Rex at the end, where like they're in the spaceship ready to go, but the spaceship's upside down and it
right.
can't go. And then all of a sudden it's like, here comes the T-Rex looking
Oh,
in
yeah.
the window. And then
He's
for some
winking
reason
at the
he's out of the spaceship
camera.
again. Like, oh, let me leave the spaceship to go get the gun. That doesn't work.
Right.
And and then there's that scene, like, and that the other thing that gets me too is these chase scenes. Like, you see it when it starts, and the thing that's chasing our main character is like 5 feet away. But then 5 seconds later, when they do the pan out, they're actually like 40 or 50
Far.
feet away, like
Yeah, yeah.
enough space that they're able to be like, okay, now it's believable that they don't catch it, like
Right.
that they don't catch our main character. But yeah, like yeah. So when he was getting chased, it was like, okay, all right.
All
It's one of
right.
those chase scenes. All right, cool.
And let's talk about the jump scares in this movie or like the suspenseful parts. Like I thought it for me, I thought it was just good enough. Like it was thrilling enough where I was like, "Oh, Okay. But it was also like not so scary that I shit my pants. Like
Yep.
it's one of those. So I liked it because it wasn't too scary, but some people would be like, oh, it could have been more or whatever. But I didn't find it that way. I found it just enough for me. Considering like it was pretty tame movie. Like there's no cussing. I don't think there was any cussing. And there's no like sex or anything in it. So like my 10-year-old watched it with us and you know, had no problems with it. Um he was a little scared at some of the jumpy parts, but he was okay. The part that he turned away with that he thought was the gruesomest was when Adam Driver lands on planet Earth and he gets that thing in the side of
Cut
his
in his
stomach.
side.
Yeah, and he's like slowly pulling stuff out of his tummy and the blood is coming. Okay, so he had like a little problem with that. But
I'll say this. One of the things that I thought they did well was for their budget. I thought that like the CGI was done really well for their budget.
it
Like their
wasn't bad.
dinosaurs looked like Jurassic Park dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like they looked they they kind of looked like they belonged there. They
But
didn't
wait,
really look.
wait. I have beef with the
Oh,
dinosaurs.
okay.
I have beef
You
with
got
the
beef?
I got beef cooking.
Yeah.
So the dinosaurs, okay, it's been shown now that T-Rexes had feathers. That is the up-to-date information, and there's scientific proof behind that, right? This movie was only made like what, last year? So, or
They
the year,
filmed 2020 and 2021. They
yeah,
filmed.
so it was made fairly recently. They would have had that information. There were no freaking feathers on T-Rex. So I was like,
Now,
inaccurate.
okay,
Like,
now let me ask you a question. If a T-Rex came up looking like Big Bird, would that be very scary?
I mean, it depends.
We'd
If it
have
was
to see
like,
it, right?
yeah, I'd have to see it. Like, if it was like strategically placed feathers, maybe I'd be like, oh, I think we're frozen. Which, oh, there we go. So like, I would have to see if there were like strategically placed feathers, like on the arms or something. Then I think it would still be scary. But if they coated the whole thing in like feathers, I'd be like, what in the heck is this? So, I mean, we don't know how many feather, but even if they had just stuck like three on there for me, I would have been like, okay, this is a little more believable.
Yeah.
But none of this movie is believable, by the way. Like to me, I don't find it believable. But um,
Well,
it's
like I
just
said
the
about the CGI, like the dinosaurs looked like they belonged there.
yeah,
Like like you get sometimes you'll get like the CGI will maybe be a little bit lighter or it'll be very silhouette looking when it's in front of something that looks real or is real.
yeah,
Where this it didn't like it didn't look bad. I
right.
mean, maybe that was a lot of the lighting. Like a lot of this movie was like dark
It
in the
was
forest, shadows. So maybe they were able to get around some of that stuff with having it dark.
yeah,
Um, but
a
yeah,
lot of dark greens and browns and blacks for sure in this movie.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It was it was interesting. Okay. Also, so there was a part, I don't know if you remember when Adam Driver and the little girl, they go to the cave and they're going through it and then the dinosaur comes. Okay, that triggered all of my flight or fight mode. Like I was panicking for them. And I guess that's the whole point is that they like really know that the directors are trying to get you in that way. And it worked because I was like, oh shit, like I am going to die here. Like
I will never go in a cave
I,
ever. Nope, no caves, not for me.
absolutely
I
not.
could have all the machine guns and 100 flashlights just so that if they all started flickering, then and the other
Also,
thing I
who
thought,
goes deeper into the cave?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
in all fairness, there was a T-Rex standing outside waiting for lunch, but
there was, but he had stopped for a second or whatever, and I
yeah,
don't. I I I'm brown. I'm not going
which
deeper
which
into.
was the same T-Rex later on in the movie coming out like Rambo with like the blood on
Oh,
its face.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
big scar that he had from the fight with Adam
Sure.
Driver the first time.
Yeah, yeah. It was a little ridiculous that dinosaur at the end, but I thought the movie was over. Like when they got to spaceship, I'm like, oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
the dinosaur comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, uh,
He's
okay.
like, I'm back.
And he's running sideways into trees and stuff. He's like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
sure, whatever,
Yeah.
fine. But
I
yeah,
think that spaceship falling off the edge of the cliff and then getting kicked around by a couple dinosaurs, I don't think that it would probably launch again.
yeah,
But I mean, you had to get them off with that comet coming, the asteroid that wiped out the entire population of the Earth.
right. How convenient that they got off just in the nick of time before the whole world exploded and they were the only humans on that planet, like, which is planet Earth, supposedly. So it was a little silly, but I don't think this movie is supposed to be drenched in accuracy. I think
No.
it's to kind of like dig at a thought that maybe people might have in their brain or something, kind of thing. Um, yeah, all in all, I think this movie did a good job with like giving you that danger feeling. I don't know if you felt this, but throughout the whole movie, I felt like there was this sense of like something's always coming. Like I
Oh,
got to keep
they
going.
both should have died. Like they're
Yeah.
fighting dinosaurs with, like, is it a laser gun? Like shoots
Yeah,
lasers?
yeah. It's like a
Like,
pulse gun or something.
yeah. Yeah, they would have been like when they got swarmed by like those 50, what are they, like
Yeah, those little
velociraptors?
things. Yeah.
Yeah. They get so like swarmed by like 50 of those things and the girl ran off. Like, and
Yeah.
he's got a dislocated shoulder and possibly a broken arm.
Yeah, I was like, poor Adam Driver. This man is he's keeps breaking himself. I looked at my husband and I was like, this poor guy. Like I'm really feeling for him right now. He
Yeah.
needs a medic. And then he just keeps going like nothing happened. I was like, okay, Adam Driver, you do your thing. Like do your
Yeah.
thing. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Like again, he did a great job, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed his performance, and like you said, I would watch some other stuff from him. I mean, I've seen him as Kylo Ren in Star Wars, and we'll probably end up doing that series as well eventually.
At some point, I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah, and I know he was in one with Scarlett Johansson, I think. So I think I might try and maybe we could do that one at some point.
Sure.
Because I would like to explore some more of his works because I have seen him in like one or two things and I feel like there's more to give. Like he's got more to give to whatever, movie he decides to do next. Um, yeah. Other than that, like I really felt like this movie was just like a fun box office thing.
It's just
Something
a
to get.
movie.
It's just a movie.
I mean, I had fun watching it, but I don't know. Like for me, I guess the rewatchability is probably a 0 out of 10. Like I'm probably not picking this movie back up again. Maybe if my one of my kids wants to watch it later on down the road, I'd watch it with them, but I'm
It's
probably
not like
not.
something like Lord of the Rings where you'd rewatch it again. Like for me, I would rewatch that again a couple of times, but or like Harry Potter, I would watch like a few
Yeah,
times. But this movie is like a one and done. Like you watched it, it's cool. Like
yeah.
so yeah, I think the acting was decent. The concept was kind of cool, but I think the execution was a little lacking, a little bit. I don't know. That's how I felt about it.
So what do you think? What do you think it got on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics? What do you think the critic score was?
Rotten Tomatoes is harsh. So I'm
Yeah, it
gonna
is.
say 31%.
You're pretty close. It got a 35. So it's pretty rotten. That's not a very good score. Um,
Whoops.
but it got a better rating from the audience.
Okay.
The audience gave it. Do you want to guess what the audience score is?
54%.
65, actually.
Oh,
So
well,
yeah, the audience thought it was all right. They thought it was decent, you know.
yeah, see, that's why you can't trust what critics say because, like, critics are looking for certain things. People are
Yeah.
just trying to enjoy a movie, right?
Yeah. People are trying to escape from reality and just have fun, be able to enjoy themselves for hour and a half to 3 hours, whatever they look for in a movie.
Yeah.
And that was fine for me. That was a movie that
Yeah.
allowed me
I
to do
mean,
that.
I'm going to tell you, like, I was able to sit through it with, okay, so this is how I rate a movie. If I can get through it without falling asleep, that's decent. Maybe even good. But so this one I watched right through. It kept my interest for the whole thing, and I didn't fall asleep, so that was good. Um, so that's like one check mark. I liked Adam Driver in it. That's the second check mark. Um, the concept was cool. That's another check for me. So that's three. Um, and then the other stuff that we talked about kind of how everything was executed and the language barrier between the little girl and the little boy. The T-Rex coming back at the end, hitting every single tree on the way over to the upside down spaceship. Like, I just listened to myself say that and I was I was like, that's ridiculous. But no, I liked it. Would I go back and would I go to a theater? Sorry, I didn't go to a theater, but if I went to a theater, I wouldn't go back to a theater and watch this. No. That's my hot take on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I give them credit for the concept like you
yeah.
did. I think it's a pretty good concept. I think their special effects were pretty good,
Mhm.
especially for the budget that they had.
Yeah.
Um, Even though I gushed about Adam Driver a little bit, I think you could have thrown any uh, physical dude
They
in
could have
there.
put Chris Pratt
It
in
could have
that
been Chris
movie.
Pratt. It could have been Chris Evans. It could have been
They could have done all the
uh,
dinosaur
Matt
movies.
Damon. It could have been like any guy,
Yeah.
and that has ever done any kind of action movie before, and would have probably been the same overall
Kind of feel.
movie. I don't
Yeah.
know if any of them would have made it any better,
Right.
but or any worse.
Right.
Um, Although if Chris Pratt was in it, probably would be a little bit more funny. But I don't think they
Yeah.
were going for comedy.
No. The tone was very serious. Like, it was a very serious kind of film for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, so I guess I would rate it not a waste of my time, but I would rate it cool. Like, that's what I would go with. I would just be like, cool, cool. How
Nice.
about you? What would you go with? What's your, like, where's your scale from like 1 to 10? What would you give it?
So like for me, 10 it's hard to achieve a 10, I guess.
Yeah.
Like 10 would be they nail everything and
Yeah.
it was great. One would be it's just trash. I would say I mean, this is a pretty solid 6, I think, for me. So
You know
like,
what? I was thinking the same thing. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, it's no, that's okay. It's a solid 6.
Yeah.
I'm I'm satisfied. I'm not pleased. I'm not like it's not unsatisfactory. It's just kind of like yeah, it's just there. It's a movie and
It is
uh
what it was entertainment for an hour and a half, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah, I feel you. I
like I
get it.
said, it's the special effects on that budget that boosts it from a 5 to a 6 for me. But
Sure.
yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
All right. So yeah, I guess the next thing we do is like we got to pick an Adam Driver movie now and
Yeah,
kind of
we can do that. Yeah, we can pick so yeah, I think what we'll do at least to start off with is we've just rated that movie. So now we look at the cast list and we pick a movie that one of the cast members did.
yeah,
So we'll do Adam Driver and we'll take a look at what Adam Driver movies we want to do.
The little
Next.
girl that's his daughter.
Yeah.
I've seen her in something else, and I can't place where. And I really should have looked it up to be a little more prepared for this moment, but I didn't. So we're gonna need to look that up. And
So you might have recognized her from Dungeons and Dragons.
yes,
Yeah. And then she's also the little girl in My Spy with Dave Batista.
okay. I
But yeah,
think it was Dungeons and Dragons because I saw that one recently, and I was like, she also played the daughter of Chris Pine in that one too. I think.
she's been in a few movies actually. She did Avatar.
Oh, she was in Avatar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
The Way of the
Uh,
Water.
Puppy Dog Pals. She's one of the voices for the animated show Puppy Dog Pals.
Puppy
All
Dog Pal.
right. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I no. Okay, so she's been in a few things too. So I
Yep.
mean, like, yeah, we could do Dungeons and Dragons or something next, or with her in it too. Because I mean, there's not too many actors in this movie actually. This 65. There's only Adam Driver, his wife, the daughter, and the girl who lost her parents. Like, there's
Yeah.
only 4 characters in this movie.
I think I like your idea. We will not pick Adam Driver. I'm looking at his list of movies here,
3.
and he's not really in a lot of stuff. But if
Okay.
we picked her and we picked Dungeons and Dragons, then we can go from there with like Chris Pine
I
or
love Chris Pine.
Justice Smith or Hugh Grant.
Oh, I like.
Like there's a lot of like there's a decent amount of people in that movie. So maybe we do Dungeons and Dragons next.
That should be. Oh yeah, I'd watch that one again. Yeah, I'm in. I love
All right.
Chris Pine. So yeah, I'm definitely in. I like Hugh Grant too. Yeah, ever since Bridget Jones's Diary, I love Hugh Grant. But yeah, that would be a good one for next time too. And you know, or one of the times we'll put it on our list. Um, but yeah, no, the actors were decent. Film was okay. So if anyone is looking to watch this movie, you'll enjoy it. But
Maybe. You might like it, you
maybe
might not. It's middle of the road.
right.
Yeah.
I think most people would like it because it's like actiony and it's like runny and it's gunny and stuff and dinosaur-y, like all the E's. Um, so I think people will like it. They won't love it. I don't think they'll love it, but they'll like it. I think that's the overall feel that I have for it. But yeah. So are we done now? Our
Yeah,
first episode.
first one in the books. Um, yeah, first one in the
Yeah.
books.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening. And if you like it, like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. We're going to be on all social media platforms.
I'm gonna
And
throw up so I think we're gonna be hosted by Spotify, and I'll make sure that in the description of this podcast, I'll put all of our social media accounts in it. And then same thing for YouTube. I think we're gonna try this video uh as well, and we'll see what we can do.
absolutely. Yeah. We're going to try. Don't troll us too hard, though, on YouTube, though, because I might cry. Not going to lie. Oh, boy. All right, Jeff. I guess that's it for now, and we'll see everyone next week.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the next movie we're doing, Jeff?
We are doing The Outlaws. It's a Happy Madison production. But it doesn't have Adam Sandler in it. But
it has Adam Devine in it, though.
yes, it does. Yep.
Yeah, like him.
So, yeah.
To their podcasts. This is important and pretty funny guy. So with that, we'll see you guys. We'll talk to you guys on the next pod. All right. You're listening to Popcorn Patrol. Join us next time.